Today, as we visit some of our old stamps, we're going to visit Syria. Now let me tell you a little story about them. After World War I, France transferred all authority to Syria. The country became a fully independent republic in 1946, when French troops were entirely withdrawn. So there's a little history. And what I really like about these stamps is that you get to see some of the buildings, you get to see the land. There's a lot here to see to give you a really good idea of what the area looks like. So that is really cool. Now these here are all about, for this set anyhow, all about the plains. Now if you see the two on the left, both pictures are the same, just different amounts. And on the right, they're the same, just different amounts. But they're really beautiful. The first one you have, P.25 in the black and white. Then you have a P.1/2 in a purple and white. Then in your second row, you have your 1P in blue. And you have a 2P in green. Now if you notice, all these 4 stamps here are unused. That's what makes them even more special. Very pure, clean, well kept, no tears. Really good ones. Alright, now let's move on to the second group we have. So this will give you an idea of the buildings, which is really kind of cool. And you get to see a little bit of the flat land with the plains. Now you get to see some of the buildings. Pretty cool. First you have your 1 in brown and white, kind of built into the mountain. Then you have your 2 in a deep brown. Then the portrait kind of looks a little bit, maybe a light brown. Then beautiful 5P in purple. So there you see how a guarded area looks like in that country, which is kind of cool. And then if you get down to the second row, it almost seems like it's part of that 5P purple one. Okay, so you have that one in a P50, 0P50. Then you had a 1-50 that got changed. It's got some red overwriting on it, and it got changed to P50 in the green and white. So sometimes the overprint is what brings you good value for your stamps. Always depends on where it is, what stamp it came, what country the stamp came from, and who stamped it. As funny as it is, some of those are worth good bucks. Okay, and then your third one in this second row here is a 0.75 in the brown and white. That one gives you a more overview of the area with the buildings and everything. So this was a good one to show you some of the buildings and how people live. Very different than what we have, you know, for our modern stuff and everything. But this is really kind of cool. Okay, let's take you to the next group now. Right here. So these are kind of neat. Now if you notice, this top one is a 10 in the blue and white, but it has a red overprint. Not totally sure what the overprint says, but if you put the video on full screen, you might be able to see it better. I'm doing it with the camera, so I don't know. It almost looks like a $10.50. That's the way it kind of looks. You see the 1, and then where the regular 10 is, something's on top there, and then you see the 50 afterwards. So that's kind of cool. Okay, and then in the second row, they're both the same exact building, only different values and different color. You have a 0P10 in the brown and white. Look how tall that is, the little building. The tower is nice and tall. I guess it makes it easier when you're traveling to get to it. You can really see it, because a lot of the buildings are kind of low, but some really stand out. And then you have a 0P20 in the blue and white. But both of those different view. It's like they took it from the other side. But you still get to see the little towers of both of them. Kind of neat. It's different, that's for sure. Okay, now let me show you the last group we have in this video. And here we have some of the more in-town buildings. All the same building. First you have your 1P in the blue and white. Faded a little bit, looks more turquoise than it does blue, but back then they probably called it blue. Then in the second row you have a 1P50 in the brown and white. That's something how you can see the mountain right there, so it's like a big building right before the mountain. And then you have a 2P50 in the green and white. So these are kind of cool too. Aren't they neat? So out of this video you got to see a lot of the land, a lot of the buildings in the air. You started out with the planes. Okay, hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend. Share it with others. You know, a lot of people don't get to travel. So they travel through looking at some of the old stamps. Gives you an idea of what the area looks like. And some people look to see, okay, let's see what they have and everything before we go visit, so we can kind of prepare ourselves to what we're going to see, so, you know, things don't come out as a shock. But they're kind of cool. Alright. Stay tuned for more. We got a lot more videos to show you. We got some other interesting things too. So, be sure to sub me, and you never know when I'm going to bring you. Alright. Bye-bye, and thank you for watching.